Hello everyone, welcome back to the Bradley Real Estate Group. Today we're going to be talking about the market shift and what does that mean. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, Jasmine Bradley here with the Bradley Real Estate Group. So there's a lot of commotion going on. You could hear it a lot, like, oh my goodness, the market's shifting, what's going to happen in real estate? And then when people talk about shift, immediately you start thinking about when the bubble burst back, between 2007, 2008 timeframe, and everything was just so bad. Well, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the market shift and what does that mean to you as a seller, what does it mean to you as a buyer, and whether or not I even think that the market is going to shift to the point like it was back in 2008. Before we start talking about it, I want to educate you a little bit about the types of market, because this will help you understand what a shift even is. Okay, so we have three types of markets in real estate. You have a seller's market, one side, you have a buyer's market on the other side, and then you have a neutral market. It's kind of in the middle, hence neutral. So, and when you have a shift, what that means is that you went from one market to the next. So think about it as a pendulum. You know how the pendulum goes from one side to the other. Well, when you have a market shift, you go from buyer's market to seller's market, and then neutral market somewhere in the middle. Now also think about it as a pendulum. The fastest time or the fastest speed of a pendulum is towards the bottom, where it shifts quickly from one side to the other. Just the same as the real estate market. So you're in the buyer's market, and then you kind of hang out for a couple of years, and then start slowly moving towards the other side, and then quickly you change, and then you're in the seller's market. And you only really stay in the neutral market for a little bit. Well, if you look at our market right now, and things are starting to change, and that means that maybe you went from a frenzy where it was kind of a seller's market, and you put a house on the market, and before you even start marketing it, just because you put a sign outside, you have 4 offers. Well, now, if you notice as a seller, you're probably, even as an agent, you're probably hanging out a little bit, a couple of weeks before you actually get an offer, or you might not be getting multiple offers anymore. Things are changing a little bit. Well, that's the first sign that is going from one market to the next. So what does that mean to you as a buyer or as a seller? Our market is shifting right now. We're going from a apparently seller's market into a buyer's market. Should you be freaking out? Well, not really. If you look at our economy right now, things are changing, but it's not changing for the worse. I really don't believe that we're going to have, we are definitely having a shift, but we're not having a crisis. It's not a crisis. It's not like 2008 where everything's going to foreclose and everything is bad. We're having a shift, but we're not having a crisis. And hopefully that's tweetable. You should tweet that. It's a shift, not a crisis. All right. Every year we have a shift going from one to the next. It's just not as scary to some people because they're small baby shifts, and you know that you're going to recover quickly. Well, now the type of shift that we're talking about are in the national level, when things take a little bit longer, and that's when people's hearts start racing because, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? But don't freak out. It's okay. Things are changing. We're having a shift, but these are some things that you should know about a shift. If you are a seller, what does that mean to you? And here's a tip. So if you're a seller, that means that you're not having 20 offers anymore. You might get one. So it will really behoove you to analyze the number, counter the people, don't reject the offer, and see if you can make it work with that particular buyer, because things are changing and it's not guaranteed that you're going to get another offer just as fast. A rule of thumb for me is if it took you 2 months to get an offer, then it might take you another 2 months to get another one, and it might not be as good. So definitely just use that as a rule of thumb. May or may not be the case, but at least you're prepared with how you should think about it. Another thing that you should know if you are a seller in a buyer's market, now that that's kind of where we're going to, is that you might have to make a little more concessions. Now instead of just selling the house and you're not paying any closing costs, well, it's a buyer's market. There are other properties that are sitting in the market too. They'll just go to the next seller that's willing to pay their closing costs and give them a home warranty and repair the roof. So just keep that in mind. If you are a buyer in a buyer's market, then definitely things are a little bit more in your favor. You have a little more properties to choose from, and that's great. But the issue with buyers on a buyer's market is that you get complacent. You start thinking, oh, there's all this inventory, and who knows, we might have another deal coming up tomorrow that will be a better deal, and I'm just gonna hold off and I wanna wait to buy because I think that I'm gonna wait for the next deal. Where, remember what I said, you go to the buyer's market and then you're kind of hanging out, and then next thing you know, when the pendulum switch, and next thing you know, you're in a seller's market again. So you want to make sure that you make a deal, and if you find the property and you love it, go ahead and stick with that, because you never know when it's going to change again. So that's for you as a buyer in the buyer market. Don't wait to pull the trigger. Don't wait. And think about it. You're in the best possible time to buy. As a buyer, you're gonna get the property. It's probably worth a lot more, but you're getting it a little bit lower because things shift and you have a little bit of an advantage. Now, this is the best thing that I want to say. If you are an investor, it is said that most millionaires are made in a shifting market. Why? Because now property, whether you're buying, to hold the property as a rental, or if you're buying because you're going to eventually, maybe a little longer term, flip the property and sell it, most millionaires are made in a shifting market because there's more opportunity in the market. So if you've been saving your coins, saving your dollars, this is the time for you to buy a property. And all you have to do is find a investor-friendly agent that can help you with finding those property and securing them. So definitely keep in mind that shifting market is not as bad as some people think. It all depends on your perspective. There is opportunity in a shifting market. I hope that this class really sheds some light on a shift and a market shift and what does it mean and what does it mean to you as a seller, buyer, and investor. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like so that you can get notifications of videos like this.